Hey everybody, in this video we're going to take a look at this problem here on the screen. Before we begin, I encourage you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil, your calculator, and your Chapter 4 notes. If you don't have Chapter 4 notes or if you don't have a calculator, I will leave links to those in the description. The calculator I'm going to be using is Desmos. It's just an online calculator which works on your phone or computer, and I love it. So if you'd like to follow along, you can open that up. Let me show you the link to it real quick. So it's just desmos.com/scientific, free online calculator, no sign up, no download. So with all that said, let's get started. So you intend to create a college fund for your baby. If you can get an APR of 3% with monthly compounding and want the fund to have a value of $171,229 after 18 years, how much should you deposit monthly? So let's go ahead and pull out the important bits. That first sentence, you intend to create a college fund for your baby, that doesn't really mean anything to me as far as math goes. But there are a couple things that do stand out, like APR of 3%, monthly compounding. We want to have $171,229, and we've got 18 years. So those stand out to me. With this information, I'm going to go to my Chapter 4 notes. These will be linked in the description as well, and you can also find them from the SSC website on the QR page in the Chapter 4 section. Notes and examples. It's a nice downloadable, printable PDF for you. So let me zoom out a bit. I don't know why I'm so zoomed in. So in this problem, we're doing monthly deposits. So when you're doing regular deposits, it's a savings plan. And so I'm looking at these savings plan formulas from Chapter 4C. That's where I happen to end up when I open this. And let's see. This first formula is a savings plan balance when you have regular payments being made. So this is if you know what the payments are. You want to know how much you'll end up with. But that's not the case for this one. This one, we know what we want to have. We want to end up with the $171,000. We do not know how much we need to deposit. So I'm thinking it's going to be this formula here. The payments necessary to reach a goal, it's going to be this one instead, because we know all the pieces except for the payment. So let's bring that formula into the whiteboard. Okay, so payment necessary to reach a goal. Let's go ahead and also identify each of our variables. So here we go. Payment represents the deposit amount, and that we don't know. That's what we have to find. A is the future value or the goal or whatever you want to end up with or you do end up with. And in this case, it's the 171,229. APR is the annual percentage rate, which in this one is 3%. And we need this in its decimal form, so that's 0.03. N is the compounding or deposit periods per year. This one does specifically say monthly compounding. And since there are 12 months in a year, N is going to be 12. And Y is the number of years, and this one does say 18 years. So, with all that information, let's replace each of these variables with its corresponding value, corresponding number. We should get something like this. Let me scroll down. All right, we should replace A with the 171,229. The APR over N pops up twice, so 0.03 over 12 is here, and down here again. And then the exponent of ny is 12 times 18. So this is what we're going to be looking to put into the calculator. Feel free to open up Desmos and follow along. See what we get. I have not done this problem in advance, so I do not know the answer. So this will be fun. Let's see. What do I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be, I don't know, maybe around $200, $300. Total blind guess. I really have no idea. But that's what formulas and calculators are for. Let me fix this a little bit. Okay. All right, so this formula is one big old fraction with a couple of fractions inside. But first, I'm going to start for a big old fraction by pressing the A over B button. And then I'm going to type in what I see as I see it. So I see 171. I'm not going to use commas. Don't use commas in Desmos because sometimes Desmos thinks you mean something else. It might mean coordinate points or something. So I would avoid using those. If you can get it to work, that's cool. But for me, it doesn't work. So avoid commas. But everything else is good to go. So there's our 171,229. Next up, I see parentheses, open parentheses, so I'm going to do that. Then I see another fraction, so I'm going to use the fraction button again. Top of the fraction is 0.03. Click or tap to get to the bottom of the fraction, which is 12. I am done with the fraction now, so I can use my right arrow key to get out, let the calculator know I'm done with it, and then I have to do a closing parenthesis. And I'm just typing in exactly what I see. And I see that the numerator, the top of the fraction, is done now. So I will tap into the bottom and again type what I see. I do have brackets here. This formula does show brackets. Just know that brackets and parentheses are actually the exact same thing. We usually use brackets and parentheses to help avoid confusion, because some people find it difficult if you see two parentheses in a row, but they do mean the exact same thing. So you don't have to go hunting for the bracket button. You can just use parentheses. So right here I see bracket parenthesis. That translates into a calculator as just two parentheses. So I'm going to do that. I got my two parentheses, and I got a 1, then a plus, another fraction. There's that AP all over n again, so 0.03, tap, and 12. Right arrow key to get out of the fraction. I have closing parentheses up next, and then I have my exponent. So I'm going to use my a to the power b button. And I'm going to take my exponent exactly how I see it here. I see another set of parentheses, 12 times 18, okay, 18. Then I see closing parentheses. And then when you're done, just like when you're done with the fraction, when you're done with an exponent, you hit that right arrow key. So that way the calculator knows you're done with it. And the last thing I have is -1 and then a closing parentheses. Let's do that. -1, closing parentheses, and it ran off the screen a little bit, but here is my answer. Oh, I was way off. It was not 300. It looks like we're going to round this to the nearest cent, which usually you do with chapter 4 questions, except for taxes. We're going to get $598.83. So let's write that in. So the necessary payment to reach this particular goal in this particular account, 500, oh, my dollar sign. No, it's not dollar sign. There we go. $598, and I forgot what the pennies were because I've got a short-term memory of a goldfish. 83 cents. 83 cents. I was off by like $300. But that's it. That's it for this one. We have the formula. We type everything in. We round to the nearest cent. So the answer is the answer to how much should you deposit monthly is $598.83. All done. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I will leave all the resources I have in the description and wish you the best of luck.